quick shout out at the beginning here to everybody listening over on Rumble and everybody listening over on YouTube. The views and the clicks have been steadily going up, and it's much appreciated. I put up some new Darce videos today. We did over 1,000 views on YouTube in a couple hours, and Facebook between our shit. So pretty happy about that. So thanks to everybody that's liking and subscribing and all of that stuff. From there, I'm gonna go ahead and hop right into a topic. Dead Picks, are we good on on YouTube yet?
Honestly, it should be going up. I'm just like waiting for it to like pop up. But yeah,
Okay.
just give it a minute. It should be good.
All right, that's cool. I'm gonna go ahead and just hop into a quick one. Did you see the Usyk versus Fury fight, bro?
Man, there was something, man. Like the ref really looked like he was trying to save it for Tyson at some point. I honestly thought Fury was gonna win the fight, up until a certain point, when Usyk was like rocking him like towards like the later rounds. But yeah, it was a good fight, man. Like I feel like there's gonna like a revival like in this boxing, like in terms of the main light.
Yeah, so I think the craziest shit would be if Usyk retires, because there's been rumors. I think that would be the craziest fucking storyline. Absolutely, well, not absolutely, but just one of the craziest storylines in combat sports history. And what a fucking story! Like, nope, it's mine, and I'm out. Fuck you. We're not doing it again. I got you, and I'm out. Man, I just think that would be a great one. Man, that YouTube really isn't fucking loading in, huh? That sucks. Either way. Yeah, I don't know. I just think that would be the craziest shit ever. So throw this out here at the beginning. Now the major outlets, the guys with 500,000 and million followers, are starting to say that the UFC's new broadcast deal could mean the end of pay-per-view. I just want all you guys to remember that I've been talking about this shit for months and months. I've been telling you guys that the new model that TKO will bring will eliminate pay-per-views. I actually mentioned that Netflix could do a sports package and make a killing, and I seen on a major outlet them mentioning today that mentioning the exact same thing. Sorry, I had to mute the screen out there. Oh shit, I got to mute it out. My bad. But they got 500,000 followers, and they're talking about the pay-per-view model may get eliminated, quoting some of Ben Shapiro stuff that I talked about when he first said it. I think that's really going to happen. I think 2026, early 2026, the UFC is a package, $34.95 a month, and you get everything. Probably comes with some other shit on Netflix too, or wherever they land. But I feel pretty confident that that's going to be the new model. Pay-per-views will be removed. Sean Strickland took to IG saying that Paulo Costa still hasn't signed his contract. Bro, is this like Ultimate Warrior? Gonna wait for the curtain to be jerking so that you can try to demand more money right before you walk out? Like, I cannot imagine the UFC not being absolutely fucking raging mad if Paulo Costa hasn't signed that contract yet. YB, nice to have you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
What's up, guys? I don't know, to be honest. I don't really have a problem with it. Paulo's like, he's a weird dude. He did this happened last time with the Whitaker fight. It was like 3 weeks out or something, and everybody was saying he hadn't signed the contract. So I don't really know what his angle is, but
Dad Picks muted everybody. I don't think he meant to do it. You got muted halfway through there, YB. You said you don't really have a problem with it.
He does it like every fight. Like I don't know if you guys remember, but he did it for the Whitaker fight. It was like 3 weeks out, and there were still talks with the contract not being signed. I don't really know what that dude's doing. He's a weird fucking guy for sure.
Yeah, that shit's crazy to me. Yeah, whatever. I can't. I think the UFC doesn't like to do business with Paulo Costa. He's always talking about having problems getting fights and all this shit. I'm just making a wild guess that he's super difficult to deal with and get it done. Yeah, I feel pretty strongly or pretty sound in that. Ronda Rousey released her Our Fight, a memoir. One of the sections that's going viral is she mentioned her relationship with Brandon Schaub. Basically called him a gaslight and POS. And more or less said she was turned on when she watched Matt Brown beat him up. Brandon went on his show, Food Truck Diaries or whatever it's called, and he said that he can't believe that she's even mentioning him. The relationship was very small for him, and that when he was with her, he felt bad for her and he didn't actually want to be with her and used to talk to his buddies about it. But he said that he finds it weird that he is in that book for such a short glib of a relationship. I don't know exactly how long they were together, but she's married, retired, WWE, retired. I definitely see his point. It's pretty fucking ridiculous that she's still writing about him. Yeah, whatever. I don't know. I think it's fucking ridiculous. I don't ever back Brendan Schaub, but I'm backing Brendan Schaub. So this one will go a few ways, and we'll get some comments out on this one. Sean O'Malley and Ryan Garcia, they're getting clicks. Sean FaceTime Ryan while he was streaming. Ryan says he wants to fight Sean in MMA. After Sean says, I'll fuck you up in a real fighter," whatever. I didn't write quotes. They just kind of bantered back and forth. Sean said he's going to beat Marab. Ryan kind of was like, "Yeah, I know you will." And then Sean got real short and was like, "All right, I'm out, G." I followed Connor and Floyd from the moment Connor said Floyd's name. Even when people said it's fucking stupid, you're dumb as fuck, you're thinking it's going to happen. Sometimes you can just sniff things out. And I knew as soon as I seen it, yep, that's actually going to happen. If Sean O'Malley, I've said this a few weeks, maybe this is 2 weeks in a row here. If Sean O'Malley knocks out Marab, there is a very good chance that we see him box Ryan Garcia. If Ryan Garcia is willing to come to the cage, there is a tremendous chance that we see it. That shit is going to sell. I don't care what anybody says. That shit is going to sell. It will be a top 10 UFC pay-per-view sale, in my opinion. Credit to Ryan for the amount of fans that he will bring. But Sean will be the big play too. Without, it's the right dance partner, and I just think Sean is that dance partner for him. You gonna tune in for that fight, Dead Picks? You're muted, bud. I don't know if you're.
Nah, honestly. Of course I'm gonna watch it, man. I mean, shit. It's all I'm fucking doing, on these weekends, so yeah, I'll be tuning in. Probably have some money on it.
I'll be excited about it, is what I'm saying. I'll actually 100%. I'll be fucking pumped about it. I'll be really excited for it to go on. Connor was talking shit about Sean and Ryan last week. Osterine this, Osterine that. He kind of apologized. Said, "I know he admires me, so we'll figure it out." I don't know what the fuck. Connor is he's all over the place. You can't avoid him. He did an interview and did a live stream. Half of the topics here somehow revolve or mention Connor's name. Connor trash talked Ilya, said if Ilya is going to be the highest paid athlete on the 2025 list, that means he's got to do it in 2024, and he's nowhere close. And Sean O'Malley's house got swatted. Did you guys see that? Did you see that shit, that Pix? My man was playing video games and got swatted as fuck.
Yeah, no, they did him dirty, man. I mean, like the history of swatting is like very dark, man. Like when you swat someone, like you do it because you wanna, you want to target them, man. Like you want, like 9 times out of 10, it's because you want to see that person, get sprayed up. It's not. It's yeah. It's fucking horrible. I can't believe it happened to him. I hope it doesn't happen to him again. But from the looks of it, he did seem to come out fine. So at least there's that.
I
That's
seen
fine.
someone I seen someone comment that it should be considered attempted murder. Like, I don't know if attempted murder is the necessary charge, but bro, there needs to be a very steep charge on that. Eddie Law, nice to have you in. Get after it, bud.
No, 100% needs to be a fucking attempted murder. Do you guys know what Arizona cops fucking do? These are like, I know everyone talks about Chicago cops and New York cops and all that, but Arizona cops are the like shoot first, ask questions in like 3 months fucking like squad. So I'm just glad he didn't get shot.
Imagine if it was Sean Strickland.
Oh, that'd
Um,
be that. Hey, he comes out like the kind of guy that wants to go out in a blaze of glory. I think he'd be happier than shit.
He's at least gonna come out gun drawn. What the fuck are you doing on my property? Righteous. Yeah, and there's just no way. Yeah, if it was Sean Strickland, we'd probably be having a very sad conversation right now. If they figure out who did that shit to him, I hope it's big trouble. I don't know the laws on that type of stuff. I do know it on some stuff, but I don't know it on that. I hope it's a serious crime. Let me see what else I got here. So John Jones been all over social media. Says he's picking Curtis Blades to beat Tom Aspinall at 304. We've talked about John versus Tom. I don't want to do that. Anybody think Curtis can beat Tom? I think there's very clear paths, but Curtis has been slow and old and not looked as well in his last two or three as I thought he had looked 4 or 5 years ago. Yeah, I think Tom probably gets the W, but I don't know for sure. If Curtis could get him to the ground, I would say there's definitely a path for Curtis Blades. I see your thumbs down there, Connor, but if it gets to the ground, bro, I've even said long time ago, I think the one guy that could give John a problem would be if Curtis Blades could figure out how to get him to the ground. So I gotta give Curtis that same respect. But a little older. So I have it up on two screens, and sometimes hands are up and sometimes hands are not. If I'm not, I got Eddie Law up on one screen and not up on another screen. So if I'm not calling on anybody, just fucking jump in because I think spaces are a little off tonight. Um, Dead picks. Who you picking? You picking Tom in that fight? Are you betting that fight?
I mean, I like Curtis Blaze, bro. He's my fucking guy. If I had to bet though, like gun to my fucking head, I'm probably gonna side with Tom just because of Curtis's last outing, man. Like I don't know what it was. Maybe he was fucking injured. Maybe there's something going in, like in terms of like him going into the fight. But yeah, after seeing what I saw last time, man, it was like I would have to. I mean, I would have to pick Tom, right? I mean, if it was like a younger Curtis, like how you said, then yeah, like for sure, I'm taking Curtis all the fucking way. But uh, yeah, it's hard for me. I would have to watch tape on it. But still, like early picks, I'm going with Tom for sure.
Yeah, I'm gonna actually take Tom too. Curtis is plus 200. If I could get him at like plus closer to plus 300, I would play his ass. I won't lie, but at plus 200, I think that's probably right. So I'll probably play Tom. YB, get after it, bud.
Um, so I think Aspinall is gonna win, but I'm gonna root for Curtis just for the lulls. Like that's literally it. Just because it would be so fucking funny to see Curtis beat him after all this talk of Aspinall bitching and whining about fighting John and stuff. I just think it would be fucking hilarious. So I gotta go with Curtis on this one.
Oh yeah, when I was a younger guy, physical humor, physical comedy, or whatever was the funniest shit on earth to me. As I get older, irony is the funniest shit on earth to me. If Curtis goes out there and mops Tom, just the irony, all the arguing we've done. I'm not even going to talk shit about Tom. All the arguing I've done with Connor J in here and fucking people all over Twitter, random arguments I've had. If he fucking goes out there and loses to Curtis Blades, bro, like, it's what we all deserve. I'll say that. It's what we all fucking deserve. Tom also, Petty Jones decided that he was going to DM with fucking fans and got into it in the DMs with a fan who, of course, fucking posted it. So, and you got to figure John knew that was coming. But John says he's getting $15 million to fight Stipe Miocic. DC weighed in and said, I didn't get $15 million to fight Stipe, and I fought his ass 3 times. I didn't make $15 million to fight him. He better take that fight. If John's getting $15 million, I would wait until fucking 2027. It's 15 mil. That's a fat fucking bag. And man, I gotta bat my boy Bones up on that one if that's what he's getting. But he also said it would be November 9th at MSG. People are calling that a leak. Not really a leak. Dana was asked in a post-fight presser if it looked like New York, and Dana said it sounds right. So here's one for Connor J. And it's a question for anybody in here. And I know Connor J is going to come on the mic for this. So should John Jones be stripped of his belt due to inactivity spite his injury? John Jones just passed 511 days, which is how long they waited to strip Conor McGregor of his belt. I've got to say, to be fair, they probably should strip his ass of the belt, but not in lieu of like handing it over to Tom, just in lieu of, bro, you're coming up on 2 years, no belt activity before you fight. Like, I seen Eddie Law go up pretty quick. Eddie Law first. Go ahead, bud.
First of all, if that $15 million figure is legit, everyone saying that he's ducking Tom and whatever else, and he's scared of Tom and all that shit, eat a fat one. I'm taking $15 million to fight an old guy 100%, first of all. As dangerous as Stipe can be at his best, right? But do 15 million? Shit. And they're not going to strip him. There's no point to strip him because if you strip him, that fight's not worth 15 million. Straight up.
Well, and then the other thing about it is, like, not being nasty, he's definitely not making 15 million to fight Tom. He's not. It's not even going to be close to that. I defend UFC fighter pay all the time, but probably 7 to 10. That's not. We're not talking thousands. We're talking millions. That shit is not even close. Dead picks.
No, don't strip him just because I don't want Connor J to, have a win.
Connor J, nice to have you on the mic, bud. Get after it.
What's up? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, I disagree with pretty much everything. I actually think that John should be stripped, and I think that I'd be more in favor of the Stipe fight if he did get stripped. But yeah, I disagree with Eddie. Just because that John's getting paid more for that Stipe fight doesn't mean he's not ducking. Nobody said that John is scared of Tom. I've said that John is ducking Tom this whole time. Never said he's scared. You can say whatever reason you want about the reason that John is taking the Stipe fight, but Tom is the fight to take. That's the fight to take next, and yeah, John's ducking.
I'm gonna stick by. I'm gonna stick by. He's not giving up that $15 million, and yeah, it just, yeah. And when I found out that was the bag, like Eddie said, it's over. It doesn't matter. You're fighting Stipe. It's $15 million, man. Like it's over.
Joe, can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
Let's say, just for the sake of the argument, that the pay for the Tom fight was the same, 15 million, would you still be in favor of John fighting Stipe? If the pay was the same for each fight.
Only because the fight was already agreed to and John had to pull out, I would still favor the Stipe fight. I feel like Tom's belt came as a consequence of John pulling out. And due to that reason, I don't feel like Tom can trump Stipe. The
What is
right thing to do would have been have Tom fight Stipe for that belt, but that shit is long gone. But I think that they should have had Tom fight Stipe for that belt. Winner fights John, but that ship is far long sailed. But I think that's how it should have went.
but why did Stipe so yeah, okay, whatever. Stipe can turn down or decide not to fight Tom Aspinall, and he can still get to fight John when he gets back there. Stipe gets to fight Pat, beat him, and then beat Curtis Blades, and still not fight John when he gets back. That's all fine and well, right?
Yeah, so like if you want me to defend it from the Stipe point of view, no, I don't think that Stipe should get the John fight. But yes, I think John should get the Stipe fight.
What is why though? What is Stipe right now?
Bro, because I've said all along that I know Stipe is the biggest bag John can get. And I think
Like
John
why?
should get the biggest bag he can get.
What is Stipe done to be a big draw?
He has old fans that are going to buy pay-per-views. That's just the truth.
People didn't buy
Even
Stipe's
Dana White knows
pay-per-views
it.
when he was
Everybody
a
knows it.
champion.
Tom's fans buy so little pay-per-views, he's going to have to fight at 4 a.m.
Stipe's fans didn't buy pay-per-views when he was a champion. Stipe was never a pay-per-view draw. What are we talking about here?
Oh, I disagree. He did 600,000 plus every card.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Not true.
Oh, we're gonna figure it out. But hold
Go
on,
ahead.
let Eddie get on there.
Go ahead.
We'll kill this one. Eddie, what you got, bud?
Real quick on that point, because I understand what Connor's saying. This fight is not about, I mean, yeah, it's about money. All fights are about money, but it's not about like anything other than legacy, right? Who's the most successful UFC heavyweight to ever fight, right? 4 title defenses that Stipe had at heavyweight. This has nothing to do with who's a better fighter, who's this and that, whatever the matchup. It's about John Jones beating who a lot of people believe is the best UFC heavyweight like to ever do it, right? In the UFC. No, we're not talking Fate or anything like that, but just in the UFC. It's a legacy fight, but he's getting paid a bag to fight a legacy fight. Now, if I'm John Jones and you're giving me 15 million to pay to fight either Stipe or Stipe or Tom, I'm fighting Stipe. But as a fan, if he's getting paid the same money, yeah, damn right, I want to see John Jones and Tom Aspinall. That's 100% true.
Yeah, I mean it is a better fight. I'm not disagreeing. What I'm saying is from the John point of view, John is locked in for his bag in his fight, and he should not have to detour. The UFC should have made Tom fight John, or Tom fight Stipe, or Stipe fight Tom. That's when Stipe said no, things should have changed. But the UFC isn't going to change him. John should get that money. YB?
I think everybody in this whole MMA space that has any comments towards this as well needs to remember the whole point of this is kind of to erase Francis's greatness at heavyweight. Like, we can't leave that part out of it. Half of this is just saying, fuck Francis, he wasn't that good. We have the best heavyweight. I don't care what anybody has to say about it. Like, that's a big part of it. And
So listen,
also,
I've said
I'll fight
you're
Stipe
right.
next week for $50,000. You think I would turn down 15 million? I'll do it for 5,000 right now, tomorrow.
Yeah, I get it. Like I've said before that the UFC also has a very, very smart play in the works right now. If John Jones takes $15 million and retires, Tom Aspinall can be argued as the best heavyweight on the planet. If John Jones beats Stipe and retires, Francis Ngannou will be the strongest argument. But if John will hold the strongest argument, and if he retires with the strongest argument, they will be able to take all of that and put it over on Tom Aspinall. But if John Jones beats Tom Aspinall, he's out of that conversation, and the UFC is out of the conversation of having the best heavyweight on the planet for probably another 3 to 4 years. So I think that the UFC knows that too. Connor J.
Yeah, I just want to address like Eddie's point. I understand that this is a quote unquote legacy fight, and whatnot, but I don't understand like the appeal of this fight as in this isn't 2015. Like, Stipe is coming off nearly a 4-year layoff, a KO loss. Like him calling like yes, he's the heavyweight GOAT, but he is not that fighter today. Like he's not that. If John wanted this crazy victory on his mantle, he should have fought him years ago. And instead, we're getting this old man Stipe version in 2024.
Yeah,
Also,
but he didn't go up to fight Stipe. He
yeah,
went up to fight
but
Francis.
huh?
He went up to fight Francis, and Francis left. That's real.
No. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about he could have done this when Stipe was champion years ago. Nobody stopped John from doing that. He just decided not to. But now we have to all act like this is some sort of important fight when Stipe is practically retired. He's almost 4 years inactive and coming off a loss. We're like supposed to just believe that this fight means something just because we're calling Stipe the heavyweight GOAT.
Yeah, bro. I watched Bisping Henderson too.
Yeah,
You know?
I'm not defending that fight either. 2 wrongs don't make it right.
Yeah, so all right, I'm gonna let everybody else get their point, and then we're gonna move this one. But what I will say is that if the UFC shoots the load on Tom versus John, the heavyweight division is over. There's not another pay-per-view fight. There is not another pay-per-view fight that sells 500,000 heavyweight main event for 2 fucking years minimum.
I don't think we don't
By
know
holding Tom aside and letting him beat up everybody else, Tom Aspinall grows his pay-per-view. There's a game to this for the UFC, and all of the meritocracy that people want to see just doesn't matter over the business. Better times. I ain't heard from you yet.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, look, man. Tired of y'all talking shit on Stipe, bro. Stipe, look, man. First off, Stipe is the heavyweight GOAT. And this is not the shit on Francis, but
Oh
he
no,
is
he
not.
is. He is.
No, he is not. He is not. Francis is not.
No,
His
Stipe
greatness is.
is. Stipe is.
Oh yeah, Stipe is.
Stipe
Okay,
is the GOAT,
but
bro.
Francis' greatness is still a question mark. When he achieved beating the title, beating Stipe for the title, he only had one defense. Now, get it, that was a good fight, but he left right after that. And Stipe, I think people forget, Stipe hurt Francis in that rematch. Stipe was not like, remember the first time they fought? He went Floyd Mayweather on Francis. He was avoiding all the good shots, and he was lighting him up, and he held him down. The second fight, even though it ended quick, Stipe hurt him, and then when he hurt him, he just went in recklessly and got caught, and then he got knocked out. That was it. He's not just some old man now. He was still a great fighter in his last fight. He just made a careless mistake and paid for it. He's not. I don't think people act like he's just gonna come in all stiff and shit. I don't think that's it.
No, I don't.
Based on his last fight, he is still a tough fight for Tom Aspinall.
I agree.
But with that, I say this shouldn't even be a conversation. it's a legacy fight. We know it's a legacy fight because Stipe has accomplished more than any other heavyweight in the UFC. John Jones has accomplished way more than any other fighter, just period. And let them two fight. Once they fight, they're gonna retire. Respect their legacy and let Tom Aspinall be the next long reigning heavyweight champion. And that's just gonna be a good
Bingo.
story.
Bingo. Bingo. That is what they are going to do. All right, I'm going to kill this topic. I'm going to let Eddie go, Connor go, and I'm not going to reply. Eddie, go ahead.
All right, actually, I have to run here in a second, but just on everyone's point, just understand something. This isn't necessarily only John Jones saying, I'm not going to fight Tom right now. I'll fight Stipe instead. The UFC needs this to be able to call John Jones, quote unquote, the greatest heavyweight because he beat the greatest heavyweight. MMA math is not exclusive to fans, okay? The UFC uses it all the time. When's the last time like, you hear someone go, oh, they beat Tony Ferguson? Yeah, which Tony Ferguson? Tony Ferguson today is not the same Tony Ferguson from 5, 6, 7 years ago, right? So it's just about the name value. It's the narrative that the UFC wants to write up to make sure John Jones is the greatest heavyweight of all time because they're not selling to me, Joe, Connor. They're not selling to Better Times. They're not selling to any of us. They're selling to Joe Blow, fucking Connor Nuthugger super fan that doesn't actually watch any UFC or only watches Connor highlight type of shit. The casual, right? They're not selling to me or you. If they were selling to me or you, they wouldn't be putting this fight on for exactly the point Connor makes. It's not a good fight, really, like overall, right? I mean, again, and I get what Better Times was saying about Stipe. All respect to Stipe, 100%. But this is not the same Stipe that even fought DC, for example. So, I mean, to me, it's everyone's kind of bagging on John. The UFC's part of this too. 100%. So anyway, sorry. I hope I can catch you guys next time, but I gotta run. Y'all have a good night, Connor. Better Times, Joe, Dead Picks, Waking, YB, the man. I'll catch you guys later.
Thanks for stopping in, Eddie. Connor J, close this out.
Yeah, I actually agree with everybody said there, but I disagree with Better. I think people should go back and watch the last Stipe and Francis fight. Stipe got beat from pillar to post, pretty much that whole fight. Better is right. He landed a good strike right before getting sent to hell and knocked
Yeah,
out.
but you
So,
can't play that game
how so?
because
He just played it. What are you talking about?
yeah, but Surreal Gone held Francis Ngannou at bay
Yeah,
and then
Surreal,
proved that he's a
Francis
shitty
Ngannou had two
grappler, and there's
fucked up
still the
knees going
argument
into
of
that, and he
Gane
still
over
out wrestled.
Francis.
That's not my point. I was just saying that because what I don't agree with what Better said. I don't. Where Stipe did not look good in his last fight, and that was almost 4 years ago. And he's older. Like Stipe is an old fighter. He may be like heavyweights can be old and still be good, but we're not gonna like tell a lie.
Connor
Stipe is
J,
old.
I'm gonna cut you off and tell you that Stipe only sold 500,000, but he has 6 top 100 pay-per-views of all time. So whatever that's worth. I'm gonna skip this topic. I thought about skipping that topic altogether. I'm gonna not skip it. I'm gonna move on.
That's good content, Joe.
Maria.
Hey, Joe, that's good content.
Yeah, and I like the topic, but we'll kill the whole space on it. Like I could fucking actually
I'm down to
rank
do
this
it.
one.
I'm just kidding.
No, we should. I've thought about asking you if you want to pick a hard topic and do like a 20-minute deal, but that's another conversation. A Maria Agapova says recently posted that she will be homeless before her next UFC fight. She says that life has been rough in the US, and that someone even tried to sell her into the sex trade without her knowing. First off, it wouldn't be okay if you did know. It's not like the problem is that you didn't know. The problem is, that they wanted to sell you off. I feel bad for her, like I would feel bad for anybody, but like it doesn't always work out, and you made it to the UFC without moving to the US. So, maybe it was a bad move. Maybe try to rewind a little bit. But I do feel very bad for her, and I hope it all works out. Due to the state of our country, immigrants are not going to get much help, not due to any type of hate or anything, just due to an overload. So, things that traditionally people from other countries would have heard about that may have made things a little easier here, those programs are overexpunged, soaked out, and dried. So, Yeah, I feel for her, but there's no good answer there. Walking Buckley maybe got KO'd in a spar that just surfaced by some unknown dude yelling, "That's what I do, that's what I do." I'm pretty sure it's all fake. Yep. So just to put that out there as that surfaces around, watch it like 4 or 5 times. I'm pretty sure it's fake. Buckley recently called out Connor. Everybody laughed at him. After that, he called out Gilbert at the post-fight presser. Gilbert seems to have accepted. Gilbert's getting old, man. We've got to see the turn point where we're just like, okay, that's it for you. And he's got to be getting there, in my opinion. I don't know that I picked. Yeah, I mean, I might pick Buckley depending on the odds. Who you taking, dead picks? Buckley or I completely lost it. Or Gilbert Burns. That's kind of a tough one, right?
I mean,
like 5 years ago, the answer was easy, but
right? Yeah, but
man,
if anything, I might side with Gilbert. Just early lanes, just because the wrestling, if he actually gets him down, shit. But I don't fucking know, man. That's a good one. Because if it stays on the feet, obviously it's gonna be fucking Buckley.
I think it's hysterical that he called out Connor because Connor is a 55er that hasn't fought no real 170ers, but then calls out Gilbert, who's a 155er that went to 170, whatever the irony. Better times, get after it.
Yeah, that was a horrible call out. Even some of the people in the crowd was booing him because of that stupid ass call out. But that would have been smart if he just said Gilbert Burns in the first place. But I don't think Gilbert Burns is getting old. I think his game is just catching up to him. He never had like a diverse tool set. It was the power right hand. He would throw the power left with it as well, but his main game was his grappling. He has such a good grappling and how he gets his opponents to the ground, almost like Yelton Almeida. He just dives for the lower part of those legs and he just runs through, and that's kind of hard to defend if you don't have a wide base already. So with that being said, we've seen Buckley in bad positions in grappling, still technically using technique to get himself back up. So we know he works on his grappling defensively, and we know he knows what he's doing. And that man is really strong. He was really strong at 185. Now he's at 170, and his striking is always getting better. Just the way he moves and he sets everything up, that's Buckley, in my opinion. I would bet on Buckley.
Yeah, me too. And what I'm saying is that what I was saying is any hope you really had on Gilbert, man, you gotta start considering that hope is aging out. YB.
I was just gonna say the same. I would go with Buckley just based off the boxing and how big he is. Like that dude's made of like granite. He looks really strong. He could buck, no pun intended, Buckley get it, but he could buck Gilbert off of him if it comes to a takedown. In my opinion, I don't see Gilbert being able to get him down and submit him or anything. I just think he would get knocked out before that would happen.
Even if he got him down, he, like you said, he wouldn't hold him down. Usman, nice to have you on the mic, bub. You on the mic? I'll send that co-host.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna try to talk a little bit more. I'm still trying to wrestle a 1-year-old into bed.
Just throw it. Just throw it.
I wish I would. No, man, I'm on Buckley. I think for the past 3 fights, I've talked about how I'm not the biggest fan of him, but I think this fight would be pretty kind of tailor made with the way he moves on the outside, darts in with the combos, and a lot of his shots are straight shots. Whenever he does do those blitzing combos, I think Buckley would probably. He definitely put up a better shot than Jack Della did, and I think that's kind of surprising. I guess for me because I dislike Buckley, but yeah, I'd be on him on that fight.
Yeah, I'll be curious to see if that gets anywhere near happening. BJ Penn is currently spinning out of control, having DM wars with a candidate for Hawaii County Council. The guy posted it. BJ's trying to call him on social media apps and shit. Fucking BJ Penn. Like, I don't. Man, fuck. Him and Mark Hunt are two peas in a pod. Islam says he wants to fight Conor in the summer because it's an easy fight and everybody can beat Conor. Conor recently made comments that he feels like the lightweight strap is being lined up for him. If I have to watch Conor McGregor fight for a 155-pound belt again, I might actually not watch. I'm lying, but I want to not watch, you know? Like, I want to be like, fuck this, I'm not watching. And when I watch, I'll be spiteful about it. Connor J.
Yeah, I think that's pretty. Islam's now just fighting a lightweight, and I think they'll call Conor out after potentially beating Dustin. That'd be pretty. And he's also like talked about fighting Liam as well. He should be. I mean, I'm the no prophecy guy, but I think he should fight Armin next. But I don't think he. I mean, Dustin's about to knock him out in the second round, so he needs to be worried about what he's going to do after that.
Man, I made out what you said, but the noise was pretty bad on that one. Like, turn the direction of the phone or something. Better times.
I would hope that's not true because Islam's going to kill that man. Like it's not. I think Connor's an easier fight than Dustin Poirier for him. Like he's that's just my
Oh,
opinion. I
yeah,
think
I
Islam is going to
100%.
fucking murk him.
I agree with you better. I 100% agree with you. Dustin is the harder fight. There's a reason Khabib was brought into the camp. Speaking of Khabib Nurmagomedov, Khabib, was recently rumored to be $3.3 million in tax debt. I did a video from our pages and posted it up. Circulated pretty good. Did a few thousand views. Then his team released a statement saying that it's not true. However, a whole bunch of fucking outlets are releasing things now saying that his charitable bank accounts are listed as frozen. Uh, People are saying that, or outlets are saying that he moved to the UAE and applied for citizenship because of the tax debt to the Russian government. Like there's several articles. I actually did a video about it that's on our page and on our YouTube. I did a shorts version and then a full version. Full version's like less than 3 minutes. You can get the whole story. But Khabib, like everybody says he's the richest fighter, but he's been posting commercials for this Wahid financial group. They're clearly paid. There's a disclaimer at the end. If you pause the video, it says that he's paid to do it. He's been accused of being in crypto scams twice. If you read this company's information, they basically tell you that they use AI to purchase for people and monitor people's accounts. It it seems like a Bitcoin scam. It seems like they're buying people's money with Bitcoin, and then whatever the return would be, you know, people don't know what commodities they're getting. So they could tell people that they bought a different commodity with a lower return and then keep the profits from the Bitcoin, and then take the money later and invest it other places. It's, man, they had to pay the United States Trade Commission's $300,000 last year for false promises. Like, it's a shady company. So there is a little bit of indication that maybe he doesn't have all the money everybody thinks he has. And maybe he's not in camp to help Islam. Maybe he's in camp because he needs to get back in shape to fight. I know that it seems crazy, but you have to understand he could return for $50 million. It's rumored that he has $50 million, but listen, there's no fucking way he has $50 million. There's no way. It's not like they were paying him $1 million to do appearances. And he only made, I'm sure he made 10 or 15 million, maybe even 20 million off that Conor fight, but I highly doubt it. He probably didn't make $20 million in his whole career. He probably made 10 or less. I don't understand why everybody thinks he's one of the richest fighters on earth. There's nothing that indicates that he is one of the richest fighters on earth, other than people just say it. But there is starting to be some evidence pointing to the fact that he's fucking broke. Zabet.
Yeah, what's good, everyone? What's good, Joe?
Nice to see you on the mic, bud. What's happening?
Chilling. Huh?
You think he's broke?
Huh? What was that?
You think he's broke?
That's a great question because all these UFC fighters apparently don't get paid. They only get paid if they do those boxing gimmicks and whatnot. But yeah, I heard that shit about Khabib. That's kind of like, it's kind of weird.
Well, and like the UAE has offered to pay $50 million. I did not say that right. UAE.
And what happened to his Eagle FC?
AUFC. So that went under, bro. Like that's one of the things people are pointing to. They're saying he made a bunch of bad investments, got into some shitty crypto stuff, and then they're saying that he had the money to pay the taxes, but he tried to reinvest it. One outlet is saying that he had the money and then invested it elsewhere, probably assuming that it wouldn't be considered profit because it was reinvested still in the business. But apparently that's not how the Russian tax federation looks at that shit. Taxes owed are taxes owed. So I don't know how all the laws work over there, and I'm not going to pretend like I do, but apparently all this shit is being pulled from public records and shit like that. So it's hard because it's all Russian and you got to try to fold through it and translate, and MASH doesn't, MASH is diving into like their court systems, which is, it's hard enough to figure out what MASH says. So like it is a little lost in translation, but what is clear is many outlets are giving clear explanations that he doesn't have any fucking money. And he's training. I don't care what anybody says. He left camp. He did not help them. He was done. And now he's in New Jersey training right now with Islam. Better times.
That's crazy. Because then the Saudi government tried to pay him 100 mil to fight Conor again, and he
50
said
mil.
no.
50. I think
Oh, it was 50.
I don't know if it was the Saudis. I think it was just the AUE, the Arab United Embassies, but it could have been Saudis. But yeah, they have at one point said they would pay him $50 million. They wanted the fight to be there. It may have been the Saudis, but they wanted to host the fight, and they were willing to pay him $50 million salary for the UFC to have it there.
That's crazy. And so it's his fight promotion that's done, right?
Yeah, that's done.
Dude, he has some good fighters on there. Look, I think this is a good example of who you got to have good people around you.
But they didn't compete,
because
bro. Look at who he had, like you said. He could have easily dropped $5-7 million on those events, bro. Paying fighters, you know it. You know who he had. He had dudes that are getting at least $300,000 to $500,000 to show up main eventing. So like, you're right, bro. He did have good fighters, and that shit costs money. If he only made 20 million bucks, bro, I just see it. You know what I mean?
I know, but look, man, this is what I'm saying. Like, I think it is a good example of you. This is why you need to have good people around you, because Khabib and Conor, they're just, if that's true, that means they went in opposite directions. Khabib going broke and fucking McGregor almost being, if he's not a billionaire, almost like he sold his company for like $500 million. Like, it's fucking crazy. He has good people around him that want to make money. And Khabib is just the complete opposite because they're not giving him good advice.
Actually, bro, he doesn't, in my opinion. Ali Abdelaziz is legit triple agent type dude. Like, that's not being funny. Like, government outed him. The United States government outed him. Like, he's such a fucking agent, triple agent, shit talker. Here's everything we have on this fuckface, public records. You guys can read it. And then threw his ass out on the streets in New York. Like, he doesn't have great people around him. And the other thing to remember is his father did like political peace negotiations for Dagestan, and he probably carries some of that weight. And he probably invested a lot of money into local shit that probably doesn't return real profit. It just returns community. Um, yeah, man, I think he could be broke. Usman.
Yeah, so I was gonna ask, is he one of the guys that goes over and hangs out with the Chechen dictator and his sons and stuff?
No, his
That
father was one of the people that negotiated peace between Dagestan and Chechnya.
Yeah, so that was one thing that I think brought up a red flag for me. Like, I mean, it's a good thing that he's not going over there. But when everybody around you does it, we know Ali does it. He's fucking gotten my guy Henry Cejudo to go over there and do it. And they all get paid handsomely for it. Uh, that's I know we had talked about the political background of Khabib's father and whatnot, and I think with all that comes a heavy burden, and whether it be that government, whether it be his Dagestani government or Russian government, somebody's putting a thumb on you somehow. And like you said, you might want to be the good person and invest it into your mountain neighborhood, but there's no way that somebody didn't push him around and get some money out of him when he did have it, because you were talking about the concept or the idea of him having so much money and where he got it from. I mean, you look at his followers, you look at the legacy that he left. You people just imagine that he was getting paid very handsomely, and he had the whole fucking nation of Russia behind him. Uh, you would think like they were paying him to be that spokesperson or whatnot. We had seen him doing a lot of what's it called?
Yeah, so Putin actually said that Khabib wasn't a good Muslim and he wasn't a real Russian and all types of shitty shit about him. Yeah, that all went down. So I believe that he is silently behind the scenes one of the most important people in Dagestan politically. And if you have a bunch of money in a place that poor, you know how you keep someone's thumb off of you? You dump it all into your area because now you have a small army that will follow you, and that is how you keep people from coming in. So like, I don't know, it's a sticky situation, and we'll go down a rabbit hole for another fucking 3 hours on it. But there is a possibility that he is fucking broke. That's all I'm saying. Better, I seen you had your hand up, bro. You want to close this out?
No, I already had my hand up. I said what I needed to say.
Oh, bro, I'm telling you, the fucking something's wrong with the space tonight. Clarissa Shields says she would touch up Ryan Garcia. I just thought we could all laugh. Like, I just thought,
He wants that.
Damn it, better you son of a gun! I was about to say
bro.
he wants that. He wants to be touched
But
up by
let's be
her.
clear. He could knock her out as fast as he wanted to. As fast as he wanted to put her down, he could put her down. And nobody will ever convince me elsewise.
Correction, bro. You meant to say knock her up.
He wants that super baby, man.
Yeah, I
I
heard
don't
him
blame
talk
him. I
about that.
don't blame him.
I also, fuck it. I like to call it the way it is and toot our horn around here. So I mentioned that Conor McGregor going over to BKFC would be a path to infinitely allow UFC fighters to eventually go back and forth or retire there with no problem, or go back and forth in their later contract. Conor McGregor already did an interview and already brought up Justin Gaethje and how absolutely awesome it would be to have him over in BKFC. I actually brought up Justin Gaethje and mentioned how much he would be worth to go over there for 1 or 2 fights or 3 fights at the end. And Connors feels like he fucking put a big hurting on the UFC's competition because he now created a pathway for them to be able to do other things. And I wouldn't be surprised if this is why he met with David Feldman, Dana White, so that David could talk to Dana about all of this before he signed Conor as a partner. And David knows that there's going to be a bridge there between BKFC and UFC because of antitrust reasons. It makes sense for the UFC. Yeah, we kind of killed that one before. I just wanted to say that Conor, he did an interview that I just was watching right before we fucking opened the space up. And it was one of the last things I seen him say. And I threw it on there as the last hot topic.